Well, flu season underway in full force, and this year it has hit epidemic levels.
And the season is far from over. In fact, maybe it's just starting. Here to discuss is Dr. Casciari with St. Joseph Hospital of Orange. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor.
Thanks for having me.
So why is it particularly, I guess, hitting us so hard in an epidemic this year?
Well, the primary strain this year is influenza A, H3N2. And this particular strain is, it hits us every year, but it's hitting us much worse this year, presumably because there's natural variation. But the mortality rate with this particular strain of influenza A is much higher than influenza B or influenza C. So that's why people are more down and out. Wow. Plus the fact that the vaccine isn't quite as good against that. So even the folks vaccinated are still having problems.
Wow. Well, Dr. Casciari, let's talk about it. We forget how dangerous the flu can be. Last week we reported a 7-year-old boy died. Can you talk to us about just how dangerous it is? And it's not a joke.
Well, the flu is extremely dangerous for the very young and the very old. So if you're over 65, I hate to say that's the very old, but
I know.
I just said that and I feel bad about it.
Ouch.
But in any event, it is true. The over 65 folks have a higher incidence of mortality, and the very young, certainly under 5, have a higher incidence of mortality. So those are the folks we're most concerned about. But even the folks in between, when you look at influenza mortality, we only record folks under 65. We don't record the ones over 65. So when you say, 120 some people died across the country with influenza, that means they're under 65. So it can kill even relatively healthy people.
Wow. Let's say someone's having symptoms. When do you know you should go to the ER or just see your doctor or stay home?
Wow, great question. So if you cannot keep down fluids, if you've had your symptoms for more than 7 days, if you become confused, or if you notice somebody who's confused, if your symptoms are overwhelming so that you get out of bed or you get up and you're dizzy, those are times when it is appropriate to maybe go to the ER or certainly to seek medical attention. But for the vast majority of folks who can take in fluids, who can control their fever with Tylenol or ibuprofen, who can, navigate around the house, the best thing to do is stay home because you don't want to give it to anybody else. Wash your hands, stay clean, change your bedclothes, use alcohol, wash all your doorknobs, and you'll get better.
That's a way to prevent it. Really quickly about Tamiflu. If people are going, okay, I need to get this shot, what do they do if there's a shortage right now?
Well, Tamiflu is an oral medication. And there's not a national shortage, which is interesting because there is a shortage here in Southern California. There's been kind of a run on it, but the manufacturer said in the Wall Street Journal today, I happened to read it, that they're rushing the supplies in. There's plenty of Tamiflu throughout the country. It's just not quite here at the moment. So it will get back here. If you need to get Tamiflu, there's a number of pharmacies that have it. And some don't, but you can get it. The problem is a lot of folks think they need it and they really don't need it. So it's indicated, but talk to your doctor about what the indications are.
Great information, Dr. Casciari. Thank you so much for joining us today. Geez, it is a very worrying subject right now.
Is.
And top of mind for many of us.
And not too late to get a flu shot, right? Real quickly.
Absolutely. Okay, so you know what? That's a good point. Even though the flu shot isn't 100% effective, those folks who've had the flu shot have a much milder course.
Oh, okay.
So absolutely get the flu shot.
Perfect.
Good.
That's
Thank you.
Great to know too.
Had to ask that.
Thank you. You did have to ask it.